Welcome to the Luxine series. This series will have dead times, not so accurate post production, and a lot of backtracking. This series is meant to be a deep lore analysis and 100% completion of the game. Thanks for your attention. Lasciate ogni speranza o voi che entrate. Hi guys, welcome back to Dante Cell. I'm Dante, or Jack, and we are here again for a new episode of Lux in Mortus Spatium. We are in the Dead Space remake menu, ready to get to the ending of chapter 1 and for the opening minutes of chapter 2. Without further ado, let's get right into the game. I went to a save station, the nearest to where we left off in the previous episode, and again, I can't express how sorry I am for the low quality ending of the last episode, but I'll try to pick it up in this one. Straight on, let's get a look again to our mission, and that is to get to the medical deck. The Kellyan's destroyed. I couldn't save Johnston. And God knows where Hammond and Daniels are now. Hammond last message said to find the captain's rig on the medical deck. We will follow the line to the tram station. But before we do that, I picked up something that I did not read about. And that is a bronze semiconductor. A rare electrical component set at the store for credits. Basically is treasures to sell for credits or money in the stores. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's take a look at the logs of chapter 1. As you can see, 100% completion has been achieved. What is that voice? I hope to God that it is the vending machine, because my God. So, let's get to medical deck. Let's get our backtracking done, but not before we put our fit into the bathroom. This is a completely new area. We didn't have access to this side of the ship before we went back to the Kellyan. Now we do, and we need to explore every single bit, paying attention even to things like writing on the walls or in these little boxes. This here says they are watching. A lot of problems arise on the Ishimura. We know that writings and corpses are not missing in any place, be it a bathroom or a simple corridor. Very silent descent. This elevator. Not a lot to say apart from the lighting that is very appreciated. And finally, the tram station. Here we are. Let's see if we can find something useful around here. Maybe a log or something. A little writing that says, "Fuck this ship. It's a shitty capitalist organization." Probably talking about the CEC, the Concordance Extraction Corporation. And these arrows that just indicate nothing. I don't know what that means. You will pay for your crimes. Peculiar information. We have a lot of posters around the Ishimura. A lot of them don't indicate anything really important, but some of them are references to Easter eggs in the game, like there's always Peng. I don't know how many of you have played the original trilogy, or maybe the remake, and already experienced all of it. But Peng is a recurring joke. Of course, I'm not going to start reading that small and almost impossible to read phrases written all over the world. The walls. We need more people here. That's as far as I will go. But let's talk shops, shall we? This is a store. It's found in specific points of the Ishimura, and you need to be a CEC employee to have access to it. Well, not a fun situation. We have a suit level 2 available to be bought. Increases your inventory capacity to 18 slots and provides 5% armor. A very interesting possibility to upgrade our suit, and we shall do just that by selling our semiconductor that isn't worth too much. We can now allow ourselves to buy the standard miner's rig. Let's look at the new version of the suit change. Very nice to look at. Here it goes. And as you can see, it shows between the little spaces in the door the suit. And it's made a very clever transition. This transition is when the light blinds your vision, the model has changed. Basically, you don't recognize the fact that the model of the suit has changed, but it has changed as soon as the light blinds your vision and you don't see exactly what's happening behind the doors. We will now get into the level 2 suit, as it was called, or more specifically, the standard miner's rig. In the shop we have also plasma, standard medkits, and power nodes to upgrade, but the power nodes do cost quite a bit. Of course, you can unlock more things in the shop using schematics, but we'll talk about them when we meet our first one. The inventory is basically what you have with you and how many spaces you have to carry stuff, and the storage is where everything you do not use or choose to move with a simple click and move to storage will be stored. Like this. Of course, I'm taking that back. We need all the stasis we can get. And as of the latest patch of Dead Space Remake, you can change freely between the levels of your suits. So I can get level 6 suit, but still wear level 1 suit. And that is something I really like. That is perfect. I always wanted it, and I'm very happy that they added it in. This is a Dead Space 08 legacy rig, and it is a classic CEC rig designed to handle years of faithful service. This is the classic Dead Space level 3 suit, or the engineering suit. It's beautiful in the remake version. I looked at it just for a second, but I will keep it for when we are in the New Game Plus. And we will read about it in another moment. For now, we are done with the shop. Let's get ourselves a good old look at this beautiful rig. And a read, not from the EA side of the remake, but from the wiki fandom that says, the standard miner rig is the upgraded version of the standard engineer rig that we had a little while ago. And it is available for use for the miners during mining operations as what the Ishimura usually does. The suit has several armor plates attached around the wearer's body, as we can see. Armor plates that are not present in the level standard engineering suit or level 1 suit, providing some protection when traveling in hazardous areas and to sustain mild injuries. Not exactly defensive against bullets probably, because it's not made for that, but still could defend your body from scratches and things like that. It also has an updated support for holographic display for the wearer. What that means is basically that it has more space in it. If we go to the rig and go to the inventory, we can see that the spaces in which we can hold stuff have increased. Looking at the suit space of the rig link menu, we also see that level 2 suit is what's equipped. The air is the same, 17 seconds. That needs to be upgraded at a bench with upgrade nodes. But the armor went from 0% to 5%. Clearance did not change. Our mission stays the same for now, and that is to reach the medical deck. To medical, USG Ishimura. Welcome. Now, if you remember the original 08 Dead Space, you will think that we need to take the tram. Well, you're wrong in this case, because the tram does not have the same importance as it had in the original. Because in the original Dead Space, the tram was used to mask loading screens. Well, not too good as well, because it's still loaded pretty slowly sometimes if you played the original 0.0 version. This time, in the remake, they made the Ishimura completely anew almost. They connected a lot of the bridges between themselves. And it is stunning how the shape of the Ishimura now is actually sense. In a way, it makes a lot of sense. Because from the engineering and mining section, you would need to run to medical. And medical is closest to the crew deck and to the most dangerous sections or bridges. I just got into a upgrading bench, and as you can see, upgrades have been unlocked because we did buy the level 2 suit. And that means that the upgrade blueprint, as we decided to call it, has now more nodes available to be upgraded. We will still keep to go to the plasma cutter, work towards more damage, because the necromorphs are just the toughest cookies in impossible mode. And we need the cutter to go through them like hot knife on butter. As I said in the episode that came out yesterday, I'm not the best at playing and talking at the same time. I usually don't do it, but I'm trying my best at the moment. I would like also to shut up sometimes to let all of you hear how beautiful the sound design is in this game. Because they really worked hard on that to give ambience and give a real feel of scare to everything that happens in the remake. This is another security clearance level 1 door. We can't access it, but we do have it now marked on our map, ready to when we get our clearance level updated. And around here, we get to the medical deck, even if it's only the deposit. There it goes. Chapter 1 is now completed. Chapter 2, Intensive Care, starts. Retrieve the captain's rig. Let's immediately read the mission. I need to retrieve the captain's rig from the morgue. Nicole worked here on the medical deck. If there's any sign of her, it'll be here. We did talk about Nicole in the first episode, and it is quite important character in the series in general. And here we have a kinesis module. Now, As you can see, the Kinesis model looks a lot like a heatsink, but it is not a heatsink. It is actually something that goes in front of the stasis module on the same glove. Kinesis model. Use Kinesis to move objects. Aim, then press circle to move objects. And that's a body part. So Kinesis is usually applied when you work in the engineering section or the construction working section, because it is used to move heavy objects or very dangerous stuff. Kinesis works by projecting a tube of crackling white energy, an artificial gravity field, from the glove's lips palm emitter pad. Once grabbed by the leading edge of the energy tube, the desired object's gravity is presumably nullified and drawn towards the wielder. Small objects will stop about a foot from the pad, suspended in midair, while movable objects like rail pallets and shutters came as close as their connections allow. The activation of the Kinesis effect releases the object, leaving it to fall in the direction of the nearest gravitational center of mass. However, reversing the tube's polarity any time after achieving latch-on causes the object to be thrown away from the wielder with a velocity inversely proportional to the distance from the palm emitter pad. That meaning that the closer I get an object to the emitting pad on my glove, the stronger I will throw it away. Because it inverts basically it inverts how close the object is, giving it more velocity, reaching more distance. And as you can see, with loading things on rails, you just slide things. You cannot move them too much or anything like that. Kinesis is very useful. In the original, you didn't use it as much, but in Dead Space 2 they introduced the possibility to actually impale necromorphs using their knives, especially slashers are the most common necromorphs as we know. But also they added in the remake the fact that you can use the tails of leapers. New dialogue, completely different from the original.
Gotta hold the line. They all came back.
Sadly, we just assisted to the death of a security officer, as the subtitle suggested, that most possibly spent her last seconds killing all the members of a team that got up, turned into necromorphs by the infection. Here we have body bags full of corpses, as you can see. Let's say that medical isn't exactly in the best shapes when we reach it in the Dead Space world. Here we have something very nice, and that is, if you want to use the tram, you need to remove lockdowns from the various stations, or you will have to walk to almost every single one of them. No joke, you will have to walk to all of them before you can reach them with the tram. And after the tram gets here, you get inside, and there's no automatic selection. You just use this little screen, select the bridge that you already need to have visited and unlocked to move around the ship. No charging, no loading. You have to sit through the entire process of the moving tram. And here we get a new weapon, the pulse rifle. Equip weapon. A new weapon has been added to the inventory. To use it, add it to the weapon wheel. How do we do that? That is, select and equip. And then just select where you want to put it. I will put it in the lower space. Of course, the pulse rifle as well has a little description, and that is military grade assault rifle with high rate of fire. Not much. L2 to aim, R2 primary fire, but this time R1 creates a proximity mine. Quick select which weapon to equip using the weapon wheel, like this. A military grade assault rifle with a high rate of fire. Proximity mine. Place a charge that explodes when enemies approach it. Beautiful gun in the remake. It's the first time I'm using it actually in the remake. Because during my first run, I used only the plasma cutter. And talking about the remake, let's see what the official EA site tells us about this rifle. Pulse rifle. A standard issue ballistic firearm for PCSI and CEC security forces, which can be loaded with grenades or proximity mines for riot conditions, or personalized for faster reloading. It was already pretty fast, as I remember it, especially to reload, because the front end basically opens up like a sawn-off shotgun, and you charge with a single pack of ammunition right into it. But what does the wiki tells us about the pulse rifle? The pulse rifle discharges ultra-low caliber rounds at hypersonic speeds, each carrying tremendous amounts of kinetic energy. These rounds are designed to squash, or mushroom, on impact, transferring the energy to the target and causing immense localized trauma. This effect is immediate and pronounced in an armored target, with impacts liquefying soft tissues and fracturing bones. In the event that targets are not directly killed by fire, they will be rendered incapacitated by grievous wounds and pronounced hydrostatic shock. As well, such low caliber rounds render the pulse rifle an ideal weapon for shipboard combat, as they lack the penetrative power necessary to rupture ship hulls. Basically, this weapon, as much as it is common in CEC groups of security or private military, it is also very, very common among civilians for the wrong ways. Even if it is a military gun and shouldn't be available for civilians, it is. As we read, this is, as much as the plasma cutter, not good for cutting through tissues. But we are still going to use it to try and cut through necromorphs. No promises on how much it will work, and I can assure you it will not work too well. Of course, they make you use the kinesis that you just acquired. Gameplay needs to be brought up. And talking about the plasma rifle, we have some interesting changes about it. One of those is the secondary fire that is now a mine, a proximity mine, like the secondary fire of the line gun. The line gun used to have the proximity mine secondary fire, and the pulse rifle used to extend outwards and open his fire mouths, all three of them, and shoot in a rotation around Isaac. While in this one, they made it a proximity mine, just like the line gun.
Isaac, have you heard from Daniels? We were attacked. She ran the other way.
No, nothing. Medical's a slaughterhouse. They barricaded access to the morgue.
The morgue?
Yeah, but the barricade was put together in a hurry. A hydrazine tank might blow it open. Just need a detonator, like maybe a shock pad. Nicole could be through there if...
Isaac, the one who attacked us. I swear to God it was Chen. But I saw him them die. If they barricaded the morgue, maybe it was to keep something in.
Or to keep something out. Objective updated. Destroy the barricade. Find the hydrazine tank, find the shock pad. Let's read each of the sub-objective. The crew barricaded access to the morgue. Once I put together an explosive, I can blow that barricade and get into the emergency wing. To do that, we need a hydrazine tank. I need something explosive to blow open the barricade. There should be a hydrazine refill tank in the zero-G therapy room. And find a shock pad. A small explosive charge will get me through the barricade, but I need a detonator. A shock pad would do the trick. There should be one in bioprosthetics. Basically, we need to have a tour of medical. There's no escaping that. And I'm very curious to try out the pulse rifle, actually. Evacuate this area immediately, of course. No, I wouldn't exactly stay in it. We have run out of body bags. We need more people here. A lot of phrases, as I said, tend to repeat themselves. Luckily, not many. Ah, a level 2 security clearance. The first one we met. Finally found. The sad thing is, lockers and boxes, as I said, do not get pinned on the map. So you better remember this, Elgads. And you better remember me as well. There are the pulse rifle ammunition. Let's give them a read. Ammunition for the pulse rifle. These ballistic rounds are standard issue for the CEC and PCSI security staff. As you can see, if you do read the description of some objects and items, we do get some of the insight we can read on the site or the wiki. But the wiki and the site do give us a lot more context with their little stories. But no need to go to those. There is an eye to guide you through the story. Let's go to Imaging and Diagnostics Wing. Welcome to the USG Ishimura. Not exactly my cup of tea, is it? Ishimura crew members, welcome to the lab. If you have been referred to the lab, please have your referral from and CEC authorization ready. Then proceed to the lab office. Thanks, lab staff. Well, I don't know how many of you are recognizing this corridor. It was pretty different. When you walked through it, the original. But you do remember this. Very different scene from the one in 2008, where the guy was basically completely exposed and skinned. You could see his spine. He was just ramming his head on a piece of iron and not glass. Disturbing things in Dead Space. Done the right way. Done really the right way. One of the best things they did with the remake is change completely the rooms. If you think you knew a room, trash that. You don't know how the room is now. You can't know. They changed all of them. From start to finish, rooms have been changed. And with the addition of the fuse boxes that I talked about in the previous episode, the rooms don't require nodes anymore, because this room used to be opened using one of your power-up nodes. So in the original, you had to choose wisely if you wanted to open doors with nodes or keep all your nodes for powering up. And here we have a little problem. I present to you the letters that are very difficult to understand at the moment. We will not translate them for now, but a lot of Dead Space fans do know these letters, and they can be translated, yes. And that shape is very iconic for all of us. But let's read some of this. Counseling services. Trouble with life off-world? Do you miss the atmosphere? Have you recently been diagnosed with a serious illness? We're here to provide you with top-tier counseling and support. Depression, terrestrial longing, terminal illness. Basically, is a poster to advertise depression, probably caused by deep space traveling and, as it said, off-world depression. Here we can see a necromorph in a medical bed, probably getting ready for stasis therapy, as you can see from that spinning circle. But let's take a closer look. You can see that the insides are completely concave and empty. You can see the weirdly shaped talons, the blade made of bone, and the face with those tentacle-like appendages. Slashes are, even if the more basic enemy, still pretty disgusting. There we go. Let's see if we can get some more information on what happened. Not here. But here, maybe, we can get a battery. Well, this is a quick time event. Usually, it asks you to press a button very fast to free yourself. Every enemy has a different one, and yes, the pulse rifle still does suck, after all, but I did not remember that necromorph there. Now, we have two options. One of them is to activate the door or the elevators. We want our completionism, so we are going to open the doors. First door, here it is. Oh, money. Consultation room. There we go. In the medical lab, we can also see some very interesting designs and scans. In this case, it looks like something was changing on the inside of someone, probably starting to be infected by this strange shape-changing infection. Those are just medical schematics. And an audio log.
Patient log retrieved.
I hear the tests on patient Harris were inconclusive. Given the reports from the colony, he's lucky to have his faculties at all.
Well, a divine experience would leave an impression on anyone's mind.
Perhaps. But I saw nothing divine in all that blood. The suicides.
This is a revelation, Terrence. We just need more insight to translate it.
You think this insight can be found in Mr. Harris's psyche?
I'm positive. And with Captain Matthias barring any visits to Aegis 7, this fellow may be our best chance.
Harris is Dr. Brennan's patient. And your methods... Look, Mercer, things are complicated enough already. I can't sign off on this.
You'll do what's best, of course, but how long can we afford to wait?
Two new names have been introduced with that beautiful log. And those names are Dr. Kyne and Dr. C. Mercer. Well, Dr. Kyne is a new name for us. Dr. Mercer is actually the one that is accompanying us from the start of the game with his personal log about observations on the various necromorphs' forms. Very interesting that they were talking with each other about a patient. And we know that Mercer is usually interested in necromorphs, as long as we can tell. Well. leg goes off. And ammunition gets... Okay. Level 2. Level 2. No much we can do with the clearances. We will come back to get all of them though. I said at the start of the video, backtracking is something we will need to address. More damage needed. This is the best strategy for any impossible run, and that is get your plasma cutter to maximum damage as soon as possible without asking even a single question. No questions need to be asked. Just get your plasma cutter to the max possible damage you can get in the smallest amount of time. Ah, the famous infidel writing. Okay, that's a leaper on a roof. Finally, we see them climbing. I would have preferred not to, but hey. We get when we are what we are served. Even if it is not what we want. Again. As you can see, necromorphs are starting to wear clothes. This necromorph in particular is wearing a mining suit or engineering suit probably, as soon as I can tell. Yep, definitely a mining suit. These ammo, I think I will start to sell. Don't think I'm going to use the pulse rifle as much. I'm not too into it and doesn't work as much as I would like it to. Observation room. Completely new rooms added to the Ishimura. As I said, text log, that means more reading. Oh, that could have gotten some of you. Most possibly, it did. A lot of the crates are closed, so we will need to come back. But let's get into the text log. Medical log, Dr. B. Warwick, Chief Psych Officer, a shrink. Sensory deprivation treatments. The diagnoses are stacking up as fast as I can file them. Sleep paralysis, hallucinations, nightmares, paranoia. I'm getting patients from all over the ship. No underlying cause is showing up in environmental analysis. Foodstuffs or radiation levels. I admit, I'm at a loss. Mercer says he and Kine are working on a hypothesis, so in the meantime, I'm treating the symptoms. I'm seeing some improvement with sensory deprivation treatments in our zero-G therapy pods, but the sheer number of patients we're managing bothers me. Those systems are old, and they need an overhaul. With so many pods active, I worry what might happen if there's a serious power surge down there, but nothing else seems to help. I suppose the odds are low enough. I'd rather take a small calculated risk than have dozens of miners and engineers impaired around heavy machinery. The situation on the Ishimura was decaying fast. They didn't have any room. Old technology was being used to treat patients, and that is not exactly the ideal situation, especially when the sheer number of people on the ship is 1,000, as we heard from Kendra at the start of the game. No saving yet, or maybe we should. Yes, we should. Because we are reaching our 40-minute mark, actually. So I think we can stop right here. As you can see, the reading is being dialed down because there's specific times where we need to read stuff and a lot of others where there's no need. For now, I guess we got to chapter 2 finally, and we are getting ready to search for the captain's rig. As always, thank you very much. Sorry again for the previous slow ending in the episode, but as I always say, I will see you all again quando torneremo a guardare le stelle. Goodbye again.